Good evening, everyone. My name is Kajal Bhavnani. My roll number is 8, and my topic for today's presentation is challenges that are usually faced by English teacher in India. So, before moving forward to understand the challenges, first let's understand the importance that an English teacher plays in a student's life. So, as we all know, that an English teacher plays a very important role in developing a student's oral and written communication abilities, including the ability to write formal letters, reports, speeches, poems, and short stories. This is greatly influenced by an English teacher. They also impart knowledge of the language, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and literary works. So now let's move forward to understand few of the challenges that are faced by English teacher while delivering their lessons and while imparting their knowledge. The first one is disturbed environment of the class. So this is not only the challenge that is faced by an English teacher, but this is the challenge that is usually and commonly faced by all teachers in general. So in this point, the most important factor in learning and teaching English is the environment. When teaching the English language, English teachers frequently run into run into environmental disturbance of the class. The classroom's unsettling atmosphere keeps the teachers off task and interferes with English language instruction. The fundamental requirement for teaching English is a good and warm setting. The teaching and learning of English is ruined if the environment is not appropriate and comfortable for the teachers. So, the second challenge that is faced by English teacher is using other languages in the class. So, this is not a general issue that is faced by every teacher, but this is a common issue faced by language teachers, particularly English teachers. So, under this, the most obvious problem English teachers encounter is communicating in their native language, native tongue, or other languages. For the students, speaking in their own tongue or other languages they are comfortable with rather than English is quite common and simple. For pupils who are trying to speak the language but don't know the words or sentences, it can be incredibly irritating. They can speak with each other extremely easily in their original tongue or any other language they are familiar with. When teaching the English language to students whose first language is not English, this is the most frequent and significant issue that English teachers encounter. The third common issue faced by English teachers is students are bored and not interested in learning English language. So the most obvious problem English teachers encounter is that students communicate in their native tongue or other languages. For the students speaking in their own tongue or other languages they are comfortable with rather than English is quite simple. So the students whose native language is not English, they are usually bored and not interested in studying language. The fourth challenge is translation difficulties. Under this, the difficulties that students encounter while translating words and phrases from their mother tongue to English are referred to as translation difficulties. Students directly translate new terms they learn in English into their own language as they learn them, and confusion is a common outcome of this. Additionally, because the pupils are used to think in their own tongue, they find it difficult to explain themselves in English. This results in grammatical, syntactic, and phonological errors. The next challenge is limited time for teachers to teach. This is a general issue faced by almost every teacher and not just the language teacher, wherein it takes time for the teachers to observe their students and teach them at their level. The time of the class is very little for the teachers to teach the English language. The next challenge is limited vocabulary, where India is home to more than 19,500 different languages and dialects, 121 of which are regarded as being significant languages. Although India's cultural legacy benefits from the linguistic diversity, it also presents difficulties for pupils who are studying English. The grammar, syntax, and vocabulary of India's regional languages differ greatly from those of English. Some English words or phrases might not have a direct equivalent in these languages. The next challenge is grammar issues, under which the rules and structures of English grammar are more complicated than those of Indian languages, and thus it becomes difficult for few students to understand the complex and complicated rules and structures of English grammar, after which they are supposed to apply those rules to form a sentence and to understand few or almost all topics of English grammar. The next challenge is variations in students' abilities, wherein teachers who have a lot of pupils in their class experience a lot of disruption and stress since they have to put in more time and effort to teach a lot of children. So, these were few of the challenges that we discussed that are faced by English teachers. So, to conclude, to overcome problems faced by teachers in India, whether they are English teachers or any other teacher, we need a joint effort from various stakeholders such as educators, policymakers, and the students in general. It is important to address cultural differences and biases that may impact the learning of the English language. This helps in overcoming the challenge of teaching language in a diverse classroom. It's essential to focus on enhancing teacher training programs as teachers play a crucial and critical role in shaping students' language skills. Thank you.